Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is JudiciousFire, and I am here with the great Pumpkin Duke, the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only, the greatest buffer in Castle Clash history. This man was the first hero that I took to Breakthrough 35. It's always been my tradition that if there is a new talent, not a new talent, a new level, skill level, a new breakthrough level, a new destiny level, I always start with Pumpkin Duke. And that's what I did here. Got Pumpkin Duke up to 35 and maxed out in every way that a PD can possibly be maxed out. We're going to take a little look at Pumpkin Duke and look at his effectiveness in the game today. Look at the modern build for Pumpkin Duke and look at two, I think, very different usages of Pumpkin Duke in this game. The way that I build him is not necessarily the way that I would recommend for the majority of general game modes and general game use. But we'll get into it and give you a couple of options. Okay, so PD at Breakthrough 35, he took a huge boost. It is exponential, not incremental, from 30 to 35. He gained a ton of attack, ton of health, all of this. Let's take a look at his stats first. Okay, I mean, the man's at like 115,000 basic attack. That's ridiculous. He's at 2.3 million health. You can see how this game has power creeped. Just look at that heart. That 99,432 was his original health when this game was released and Pumpkin Duke was released. And the 2.2 million that has been added have been all of the bonuses and upgrades and systems that have been added over the last 6.5, 7 years of Castle Clash. He has the basic attack speed in the game of once per second. That is increased once his skill Celebrate activates. He has a very slow movement speed. Okay, accuracy, decent. Dodge, okay. Crit, Crit damage, whoa. Crit resist, meh. I build Pumpkin Duke for computer-based game modes. I am not using Pumpkin Duke in player versus player game modes. I don't base raid with Pumpkin Duke. I don't do Guild Wars with Pumpkin Duke. I'm not doing Lost Battlefield with Pumpkin Duke. I am playing in computer-based game modes with PD. So I have put either Energy Surge when I'm doing computer-based game modes and I don't want to deal with energy reduction or any of this nonsense. Perfect for insane dungeons, perfect for dungeon use. He's a one-man army with that kind of a build. 10 gunslingers can't stop him. If I'm using him in something like Ember Army, Wailing Rift, Lonely Sea, and Archdemon, it would be a Hyperstrength in order to increase the energy production for Pumpkin Duke and thereby allow him to move, to generate energy more quickly and to get his whole Celebrate thing going even faster. His equipment, it's all attack. This is because I want to always ensure that in these computer-based game modes, he reaches maximum damage against the enemy. Sometimes that maximum damage threshold could be 500,000. And so it is important, especially when he is debuffed or weakened, that he is able to, most of the time, if not all the time, reach maximum damage. That's why the attack. Okay, a PD that has a better general game mode use and would fit across a whole spectrum of game modes in Castle Clash would probably have a Holy Conviction. Pumpkin Duke is very prone to running ahead and very prone to getting killed very quickly. He needs some damage reduction. So I would go with a Holy Conviction if you're just going to use him in like a whole bunch of different game modes and you don't want him to be a specialist in one or two things. And for traits, I would probably go Dodge. There's nothing that he does that requires accuracy. There's nothing that he does that requires attack in general game mode use. Dodge would allow him to cause his buff to hit the whole team while he's not getting hit and dying. That would make a better general game mode use PD. Okay, talents. I have two different kinds of talents here. Two very distinct talents that are both in the same family. We have a regenerate, and then we have an empower. Regenerate is going to increase the rate at which Pumpkin Duke gains energy. He'll be a better, faster energy gainer, and his energy bar will fill up more quickly. Empower. It will give him energy and pump him full of energy. His ability to gain energy has not increased, but he is now absorbing energy that comes from the empower. On paper and for general sake of discussion, I would say these two generate energy or increase energy regeneration in about the same way, same degree of success. Okay? Either one is going to make Pumpkin Duke a real energy guy, and he's going to get the party started with the celebrate. Both are great. The difference is this. The two are distinct in the following way. Regenerate. Regenerate is better when you are fighting a stationary enemy. Think a boss battle where Pumpkin Duke and a couple of other your heroes are standing there hitting a boss for 3 minutes. And the boss isn't moving around the board and your guys aren't moving around the board chasing people. Stationary enemy, you will do better with a regenerate. When you are fighting enemies that are moving and Pumpkin Duke is moving, think dungeons. And you drop Pumpkin Duke on the board and he has to walk a little while till he hits a building. And then walk a little while until he starts fighting somebody, and then walk a little while until he hits another building. During that time, the empower and the energy that it provides over time is going to be far superior for Pumpkin Duke than a regenerate. So stationary enemies regenerate. When you're moving around, empower. Yes, you can use both with a talent and insignia, and that's great too. I think, though, at a certain point, you have to look now at insignia use and what you can really benefit from with this particular build. So if I'm fighting stationary enemies, computer-based game modes, and that's typically what I'm doing with Pumpkin Duke, then I'm going to be running the regen, and I'm going to be running a Sunder. Sunder for the extra hits in battle. And it's going to come up to multiple extra strikes in addition to what he would normally be doing. Those strikes rack up cumulatively over time, and we get the high scores in bosses, archdemons, Ember Army, things like that. If I'm going with the empower, then I'm probably concerned that Pumpkin Duke is going to be dealing with a lot of enemies around, and the time that he's moving around and dealing with maybe even like stun towers and things that lock him up, I'm worried about the man. So I'd run an empower and a sacred light. And please do not be shy of damage reduction on Pumpkin Duke. If you are fighting in certain dungeons, a Pumpkin Duke with a sacred light and an empower, or a sacred light and an iron will to prevent stun from the towers, it can make all the difference in the world. So I would put a little damage reduction on the guy if you're going to be dealing with the towers, general game mode use, if you're going to be using him in Lost Battlefield, maybe even some attacks. All right, let's have ourselves some fun. Let's do the Insane Dungeon 8 series. We're going to do it with Pumpkin Duke. That's why I have the energy surge on him. He'll be immune to any kind of energy reduction. I don't need an Atlantic Core. I don't need anybody else. Many gunslingers they throw at me, it doesn't make a difference. Once he gets revving up, I'm going to drop Minnow out there. And Minnow will just smash the heck out of his space. Let's just drop Pumpkin Duke. And yeah, he's going to take a tiny bit of damage, but it's no big deal. Watch Minnow. We're at 15 with the first skill activation. 36. 81. Look at this. This is Insane Dungeon 8 made easy. Let's drop PD. Where do I want to drop? Over here? That's fine. And it doesn't really matter what happens. You just throw the guys out there and everything's fine. 37, 98. And some of these buildings, like the town hall, can have tens of millions of health. Problem is sometimes when there's like one little building over there in the corner. I use some troops and bang out that darn thing. It's an energy surge. I put an energy surge on Pumpkin Duke and a energy surge on Minnow. Otherwise, the gunslinger copters would be stopping us and we wouldn't be able to be doing this. Neither Pumpkin Duke or Minnow have any dodge on them, but I've got two pets that I put dodge traits on, and that was pretty easy to do. You can see that it's tough when there's one little building off in the corner. Okay, let's drop our guys right up in the front. Ooh, 48 to 91. Man. It's just that big town hall in the center. That's tough. Oof. Let's do this level with all the dove keepers. There we go. Gonna make it, or are we gonna hang up on one building? Got it. And final level, let's just do this last one. Man. Like taking candy from a baby. Thank you, Pumpkin Duke. I think Pumpkin Duke is a classic hero. I would hate to see a hero replace Pumpkin Duke. His no cooldown has to be taken advantage of. Always make sure that you're running some kind of regen, empower, main talent. Don't worry about putting a little damage reduction on him because he needs that sometimes to stay alive. He is susceptible to reflect and deflect, so a little dragon's cover or maybe a wicked armor every once in a while is great too. Pump him with as much energy as you possibly can. Maybe with a Hyperstrength if you're going for high scores in player versus computer game modes, bosses and archdemons and things like that. PD has served this game well, and I hope will be a viable hero in years to come. It's great to see that he is still as strong as some of today's contemporary heroes, but he's got that old school flair. Nobody parties like PD. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy your clashing, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.